Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Oops, I'm in the wrong view, but it's okay. Tonight, let's talk about this new Bitcoin strategy that Michael Saylor is implementing, and it's quite interesting. And you know what? This Bitcoin strategy will probably cause more companies to come into the space and go all in. So let's talk about what it is, and let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto today. All right, let's do it. Again, sorry, I messed up the view, but it's okay. Welcome. So we're about the same as this morning. Bitcoin is right around 96,000. But we do see a lot of green. Some of the alts did move today, so that's good. But let's jump right in. I saw this clip of this interview, and it's actually quite interesting. This also may explain why Microstrategy stock itself is not doing all that hot recently. And it could be because Saylor himself, or MicroStrategy, I should say, is selling stock. And it makes sense because of the arbitrage that he's doing. But short term, it may cause some volatility. But long term, it's sounding like it's a really genius move. But let's listen. Let me get this. Hold on. Let me play this real quick. Let's set this up. All right, let's do it.
So what did you do last week with the treasury operations? You were able to generate a Bitcoin yield of 2.55% or over almost 10,000 Bitcoin to shareholders using an arbitrage.
We sold $1.5 billion worth of stock, backed by $500 million worth of Bitcoin. We bought back $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. We captured nearly $1 billion gain in the arbitrage. That we can do with equity day by day. When we do it with debt, we issue $3 billion of debt that's backed by $600 million of Bitcoin that comes due in 5 years. We pay 0% interest. We buy $3 billion of Bitcoin. We capture the $2.4 billion in the arbitrage gain up front. But then over the course of the 5 years, we double or we quadruple the investment because we're buying an asset which is appreciating faster.
So
I don't know if you guys understood that. I kind of did. So basically, he's selling stock, and people are buying it because he's putting down collateral, and that collateral is Bitcoin. And then what he's doing is taking that money and buying more Bitcoin with it. And it's rinse and repeat. And he could do that forever, basically, because he's putting down the Bitcoin that he's buying, and then he's selling out more stock. And again, he's just going to keep doing it and doing it, doing it. It sounds like it's going to work in theory forever. As long as Bitcoin continues to go up and up and up, it should work forever. But I don't know. The math may not be mathing forever, especially, if he keeps on issuing more stock or keeps selling more stock. I don't know what that's going to do for MicroStrategy stock itself. Again, that may be the reason why MSTR has not been doing so well. But in the near term, I guess, you know what? It allows Saylor to buy infinite amount of Bitcoin. And that explains how he's able to buy billions upon billions upon billions upon billions. It seems like every single week, because he found this infinite money glitch, basically, right? And it seems to be working. I mean, Wall Street loves it and is, buying up whatever stock that he's issuing. In fact, look at this. Strive, which is Vivek's company, is trying to launch this Bitcoin Bond ETF, which is basically a ETF that buys bonds issued by companies like Microstrategy, right? That are buying Bitcoin. So again, so what Saylor is doing is working, right? There's an appetite for this. So there are many companies that are buying the bonds that, or stock, whatever, that MicroStrategy is selling because they believe that this is a less risky option than buying Bitcoin itself. They like this play. There's downside protection, right? And now Vivek wants to come out with an ETF that invests in these kind of bonds, and then you can invest in this kind of ETF. It's starting to get a little complicated, but again, it's working. And of course, all this comes down to if there's more buying pressure on Bitcoin, then it's better for all of us, right? That's ultimately what we want. We want more buy pressure on Bitcoin. And then here's another ETF. Bitwise files for Bitcoin Standard ETF, which is an ETF that will buy companies that have adopted a Bitcoin standard. So companies that have at least 1,000 Bitcoin in the treasury, right? So basically, this ETF will buy a stock of companies that hold at least 1,000 Bitcoin. So again, we're having ETFs like nonstop, ETFs of companies that are issuing bonds that are using those bond revenue to buy more Bitcoin, and then ETFs on companies that hold Bitcoin, and yeah, it's and then of course we have ETFs based on just Bitcoin itself, and now we're gonna have ETFs based on Bitcoin and Ethereum's in a bucket, and we have Ethereum ETFs. I mean, there's ETFs left and right, and in 2025 we're gonna get even more. Yeah, Wall Street just can't get enough. That's great. That's great. And then what else is great is this. This morning I showed how we had 4 consecutive outflow days from Bitcoin ETFs. Guess what? That's it. We're not going to have another outflow day. Today is a massive inflow day, and that's not counting BlackRock. So without BlackRock, we had already 418 million inflow. With BlackRock, I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be a much larger number. Again, whenever we have panic, right, there's a lot of lettuce hands, a lot of people that are selling for whatever reason, tax reasons or portfolio rebalancing reasons, funds, do their thing, right? But a lot of people end up buying back at a much higher price, and that's not the way to do it. You want to buy low and sell high, not buy high and sell low. That's not the way to do it. These ETFs, they will continue to buy. The supply shock factor is in play, and these short-term corrections, they are what they are, short-term, and eventually we will move past this and move forward and make another high. It's just that simple, right? Here's another company that has begun their Bitcoin strategy with a purchase of 217 Bitcoin for 21 million. That's fantastic. And more people, or companies I should say, is implementing their strategic reserve. And you could see that includes Rumble now and this company I just mentioned. And you got a whole lot more, right? And again, adding to the supply shock. And it might not be immediate, guys. People always ask me, well, if you got all these companies buying and ETFs buying, why is Bitcoin's price not going up? Okay, sometimes it's not immediate. And a lot of these companies are buying OTC. And OTC is not done on the order books. It's just like a behind the scenes deal with Coinbase or whoever. They're done on purpose, not on a spot market. That's why it doesn't move the price up. They don't want to move the price up. Why would they? That means they would get less Bitcoin, right? But overall, you're removing the supply from the circulation, and it will add up eventually, right? But there's no doubt interest is building. Look at this, 140 million posts containing the word Bitcoin published on X in 2024. We still have a week left, so this will only increase. But this is an increase of 65% year over year. That makes sense because this year has been a much better year than last year. 2023, even though it was a recovery year, this year, obviously much better because we broke through our 2021 high. We broke through $100,000 this year. And then we saw like a lot of alts like XRP finally breaking through and reaching almost $3. And we had several other alts doing very well. We saw Solana break through its previous 2021 high. We saw Sui break into a new high. We saw many crypto do fantastic things, but that's just the beginning. 2025 will be even better, right? It's going to be much better. And this is where we are in the cycle, guys. This is where we are. So the people that are feeling down and feeling bearish, man, don't feel that way. We are barely on our journey right now. Okay? Barely. If you're looking at this, is this the time to be getting out? Some people are wondering, is that 108,000 the top of this cycle? Just look at this. Look at the previous cycles. You tell me. Is December the usual top of a 4-year cycle? Imagine if you got out December 2020 or December 2016 or December 2012. Those were the last 3 halving years. Imagine if you got out during those times, right? That would be equivalent of getting out right now. So don't do it. Don't do it. We got a full year ahead of us, and we're not going off blind faith. We got so much goodness. We could see it. We could taste it. We could hear it. We could put all the facts together. Next year is going to be absolutely fantastic. So definitely do not turn bearish. Do not give up. We got so much good things happening, right? And next year, who knows? Got a lot of predictions, right? 150, 200, 300, 500,000, wherever we may end up, $1 million, right? What I do know is this: it's going to end up higher. Bitcoin's going to end up higher than where we are right now. That is fact. We will be at a much higher price than where we are now, right? Not just for Bitcoin, but basically for the entire market. The overall market cap will be much higher, and almost every single alt will be much higher than where it is now, right? So again, take advantage if you can. If you can't, then just stay steady, right? Continue to hodl. That's it. That is it. As for outside of Bitcoin, what else? Solana and Base is leading the way for largest growth in funds raised, right? Obviously, Base has done well, but there's no token, so, you know, it is what it is from Coinbase, but Solana obviously done very well. Ethereum is still there. BNB chain actually slowly crept up, did really well, but you got others, you know, obviously that have done well, other layer 2s, layer 1s. You know, overall, this year actually has been a really good recovery year. And then you got a lot of other, you know, DeFi project, DePIN projects, Jitto, you know, which is a liquid staking platform on Solana, exceeding 100 million, right, monthly tips. But you got others like Jupiter also on Solana that's doing very well. You have like Uniswap on top of Ethereum that is now doing well, right? And then you got a lot of other dexes on a lot of other chains that's doing well. So everything's kind of coming up right now, right? What else is there? You got meme coins. Also, this morning I shared a really heartfelt, story about this guy, and his daughter who's going through cancer treatment, and someone actually created a meme coin, and that meme coin blew up, Mira, and whoever created it sent half the supply to the guy, and now he's sitting on tens of millions of dollars. I don't know what he did with it, if he sold or not, but it's actually a really good story of how a meme coin actually did some good, right? Rather than being a rug pull. But yeah, obviously memes have done really well this year. You have a lot of memes that blew up, and there will be more memes that blow up next year. Yeah, I don't think that's going to change. All right. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to talk about. All right, let's do some Q&A. Dustin said, could you do a little short-term 4-hour TA? Well, a lot of the TA shows that Bitcoin is ready to turn around. 4-hour actually looks like it's fantastic. Looks like it should be turning around. Let me scroll up, make sure I didn't miss anything. December's not over until it's over. I said the same thing in October, said the same thing in November. People were turning bearish during those months. And the last week, even up until the last few days, right? We saw some good movement. December's not over until it's over. We could see a really good push in the final days of December. And even if we don't, like I said this morning, even if we don't, right? We're sitting in good position. We're going to see Bitcoin come back up. 108,000 is not too far where we are. And even yesterday, we pushed all the way up nearly to $100,000. We could push right back up to 100,000 and beyond to 108,000 like in a day. It's not that hard, right? Alts, maybe it'll take a little bit longer, but hey, again, you got to treat these dips as gifts. If you loved all these alts at their previous high from a week ago or 2 weeks ago, why would you not like them now when they're like discounted 20 or 30%? Where do you see Theta going as far as use cases? Not a whole lot. Nowhere. I don't see them going anywhere. They were very, very, very... In 2021, they kind of just like went all over the place. And I don't know where they're going this year, this cycle. They were supposed to be a decentralized streaming platform, and then they started going everywhere. They started going to NFTs, and they started going to movies and music. And now I'm hearing they're trying to go into AI. They're like so spread apart. I don't know what they're doing anymore. BMX. Base Arcane. How do you feel like alt consolidation? I'm late. Like I said, if you like the alts when they were at their previous high 2 weeks ago, you should love them more now. Nothing has changed besides they've gotten cheaper. Michael, first of all, don't at me. That's a pet peeve. If you do it too much, you're going to get banned. And second of all, there's no head and shoulders pattern here. That is not a head and shoulders pattern. Oh, DCA. I guess I missed it yesterday. So I'm just going to skip it. I don't feel like bringing it up. I guess, you know, if you go DCA, just DCA into Bitcoin. It would be a really good DCA. MSTR Sailor Delusion. Yeah, you know, I would say this is, I think this is a little controversial. Obviously, him buying more Bitcoin is good, and it's good short term. It takes more Bitcoin out of circulation. It's bad because, again, it means there's now an entity that holds more Bitcoin, obviously, right? The thesis or the ethos of Bitcoin is decentralization. So even as much as we love Saylor, to have one entity or one man control such a large amount of Bitcoin, I don't think that goes against the ethos of Bitcoin. And second of all, I don't know if he's really adding value to MicroStrategy, even though he's arguing the arbitrage is adding yield to Bitcoin MicroStrategy holders. Selling all the shares is definitely not helping MicroStrategy shareholders. The stock has not been doing well. So I wonder if it has a lot to do with what he's doing right now. But, you know, maybe long term, this is the right path, right? The more Bitcoin he adds, and the more Bitcoin appreciates, you figure it should add more value to the company, right? But the way he's talking, it's like he's going to just go sell and issue endless shares because it's a way for him to raise endless amount of money to buy more Bitcoin. What hardware wallets do you recommend? I'm still a Ledger guy, so a lot of their new ones, you know, the old school, you know, S is still good. Their X is good. You know, their new stacks and Nano, they're great too. I like Ledger stuff, but you know, you got a lot of options out there. Do you deal, golden rule, do you deal with stocks or just crypto? I have some stocks, but they're all like crypto related, like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Robinhood, stuff like that. I used to have some Nvidia and, you know, Microsoft, Apple, but I realized, you know, they're too big already. Nvidia is like 3 point something billion. Apple, Microsoft, they're 3 billion. What's their upside potential, right? They're already so big. Can they double in 2025? I don't think so. They may go up 20 or 30% in 2025. But then if you look at Coinbase or Robinhood or MicroStrategy, can they double in 2025? Yeah, they'll probably go more than double, triple. So, you know, I sold them off. I'm just concentrating on crypto-related stocks. And plus, obviously, Bitcoin and crypto. Affirmed. Yeah, for a $2 super chat, that's I feel like, yeah, that's not a question I should answer for a $2 super chat. 100K today, just stick with Bitcoin. Thoughts on a 15 billion of liquidity around 90K? What do you mean the 15 billion of liquidity? I don't get that. I don't get that. Yeah, I don't quite get it. Mining stocks will do better, and will they start moving? Mining stocks, I just don't trust mining stocks. It's too competitive. There's too many of them competing. The landscape can change for mining depending on where they are, where the farms are. I just don't trust. And if you look at the performance, they just have not been doing well, especially compared to like Microstrategy or Coinbase. They're just lackluster. So no. What do you think about Ondo? Ondo is interesting. It's one of those like RWA plays that has done well, but I'm not a big fan of what they do in the RWA space. But you know, they have done well. They're based in the US and they're on Coinbase. That has helped them tremendously. They have made big moves. They have come down a little bit from their high. They got all the way up to like 210. They're down a little bit, but you know, there's no doubt they like since November they have made huge moves. So they could be an interesting RWA going forward. But a lot of DeFi plays have started going up, quite frankly, because of, you know, this Trump related company, World Liberty Financial. Not that's a trustworthy company, because the founders who like run it, I don't know if you could trust those guys. But they started buying a lot of like DeFi projects, and like that kind of like started pumping a whole lot of stuff. And also Trump is, you know, very bullish. So a lot of American-based crypto companies started going up, and that also helped Ondo. So they could do well in 2025. They could do well. But I just don't like RWA on like yield and bonds, you know. Just not my thing. I wish there was RWA on like more useful things. SAP. Shout out to Alicia. Hey, Alicia. BlackRock, he's buying Ondo. I don't know about that, but sure. In the 4 hour, I mean, someone asked me about the 4 hour on Bitcoin. 4 hour actually looks really good for Bitcoin. I feel like we're at the cusp of like a really big turnaround, back to 99 and then breaking above. There's no reason why that we can't flip above. I think right now Wall Street is doing its thing of rebalancing or tax harvesting, whatever they're doing. But there's really no reason for us not to get right back up to above $100,000. There's really nothing stopping us. And once that happens, a lot of the alts will come back. I mean, a lot of the alts sold off simply because of retail investors panicking. That's really it. It's not like the institutions sold off to alts. It's all the retail investors just really panicking. But I feel like, you know, Bitcoin obviously got sold off. A lot of the longs and shorts, a lot leverage got kicked out and wiped out. You know, we had a little consolidation, which is normal, but now it's kind of like Wall Street kind of like doing their thing. But after that, there's no reason why we can't go right back above 100,000 and starting a new year. We just keep moving forward. I think it's just like right around the corner. Rich, my New Year resolution, get in shape so I can, so I can have fun from all the women coming after my crypto bags. Aren't you like didn't you say you're like 6'3" or something like that? I remember you were saying you wanted to fight an IFC and you're like a big dude. Bling man. I'm not going to give you a shout out to your dog. But I appreciate you watching me for 6 months. Flying Ryan, I appreciate that. All right. I think that's a wrap. All right. So tomorrow's another day. Let's see what happens. Tomorrow's Friday. So let's see. Happy Friday. I think it's encouraging, first of all, that ETFs have flipped positive. So maybe all the rebalancing and everything that Wall Street needs to do is done. So that could be very good. We'll see. Friday, the weekend, the last weekend of this month, and then we got 2 more days until the new year. December's not over until it's over, guys. So that's it. Stay strong, stay focused. I will see you guys tomorrow, usual time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's see where Bitcoin is. I don't know. I just have a feeling. I think we're just going to turn around really quickly. It could be as soon as tomorrow. And then we're all going to forget about this little dip. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.